Faster my good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing you the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and all around the world. Here's a blast from the past and something that'll surprise my friends from the trad sessions around the island. So that was track 1 from the Deadly Diddley Band's CD. I found it on my CD shelf the other day and I thought, you know what, I must play that because the musicians are Mary Malloy on accordion, John Ryan on percussion, Andy Borders on bass and vocals, Pete Strings Lewis on guitar and vocals, Tony Hewson on whistle, baran and vocals, and Liam Nugent on vocals. And I recorded it, well, it must be something like 20 years ago now, with Dave McLean at the farm. And the sound is excellent, so good job on that, Dave. Of course, we see many of them still around. Andy Borders, did he go to Cornwall? I can't quite remember. He was a great bass player. I used to really enjoy playing with Andy. If I have time, I'll play you another track from that before the end of the show. Now, speaking of Tony Hewson, who played whistle on that track, he was round at our place the other day and telling me how much he enjoyed the Lankum track that I played the other week. And funnily enough, Howard Kane had mentioned to me how much he enjoyed the Lankum stuff as well. Now, there's a programme on BBC, I've not really caught up with it yet, called Gallows Pole. And I've heard from a number of sources that there's lots of good folk music in it, including this track by Lankum. I love this. This is from their album Between the Earth and Sky that came out in 2017. And it's got Radie Peat on vocals. She's got this amazing voice that sounds more like an instrument, a bit like the Uilleann pipes, really. The lineup is Cormac McDermott, who plays fiddle and viola and sings, Radie Peat, who sings and plays concertina, etc. Ian Lynch, who sings and plays Uilleann pipes and concertina, and Darragh Lynch, who plays guitar, vocals and piano.
Oh, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do? Oh, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money? Oh, true lovers, what will we do when we have no money
I think that's stunning, and I'll play you a track from the new Lankum album in a couple of weeks' time. Now, speaking of new albums, there's one out by the Scottish band Dallahan. It's called Speak of the Devil. I'm going to play you a track called Marina. Dallahan are fast approaching a decade together as a band, and they fuse Scottish and Irish traditional music, gypsy melodies, Balkan and bluegrass influences. The lineup comprises Jack Badcock on guitar and vocals, former All-Britain banjo champion Kieran Ryan on banjo and mandolin, Andrew Waite on accordion, and the newest member Benedict Morris on fiddle. To me, this really does show the influence of avant-garde bluegrass bands such as the Punch Brothers. It's a great track.
At her feet. Oh, Marina, married to deceit, to be his deceiver was a living deed. Oh, how she tore the world anew and came alive, as Cortez put the fire in her eyes. It wasn't human but the devil in disguise. Poison in her heart, a pain that would ignite their world all in flames, and she'd gain herself power all the same. Oh, how she tore the world anew and came alive, as Cortez put the fire in her eyes. She wasn't human but the devil in disguise. How she tore the world anew and came alive, Cortez put the fire in her eyes. She wasn't human but the devil in disguise. If I caused any pain at all, I only meant the fall of one. Time will heal from haze.
Now, Jenny Sturgeon is a Scottish singer and guitarist and songwriter. She's part of Saltlines, whose new album I played you several tracks from a month or so ago. I've got an old CD of hers here called The Wren and the Salt Air, and this was Songs and Tunes for St Kilda. 30 years of a World Heritage Site and celebrating that wonderful place that I've never been to. I'm going to play this for a friend of mine, Rich Sagar, who has just retired after 36 years in the same job, and he's a lover of wild places, so I'm sure he'll enjoy this. This is the title track, The Wren and the Salt Air.
Walking a path down to the sea, past thrift and ice. a chimney stack, a tiny bird with a big voice. Oh, what a voice. A salt air pinches skin. Where mountains touch the water's edge, pushed up from years of brutal force, steep cliffs climb and cut the line, where salt air pinches skin. Time said goodbye and left us standing, stock still and restless, watching the seasons change, watching and waiting. I walk a path down to the sea, past thrift and iris bright. On a chimney stack, a tiny bird with a big voice. Oh, what a voice. Where salt air pinches skin.
So that was Jenny Sturgeon and the sound of the distinctive St Kilda wren. I'm sure you noticed that. Now this next track allows me to combine two things I've been meaning to do for quite a while. Play a Tom Waits song and play a track by Christine Callister. It's funny, before I moved to the Isle of Man in 1987, I used to work in the London area and I used to go down to the Mean Fiddler quite a bit, an excellent venue in North London, and I saw Richard Thompson playing there a few times and Christine was always there in his band doing vocals. I didn't know she was from the Isle of Man at the time. In fact, I knew nothing about the Isle of Man at the time, if I'm honest, and here I am 36 years later. Who'd have thought it? This is Broken Bicycles from Christine's Blue Aconite album.
Broken bicycles, old busted chains, rusted handlebars out in the rain. Somebody must have an orphanage for all these things nobody wants anymore. September's reminding July it's time to be saying goodbye. Summer is gone, but our love still remains like old broken bicycles bicycles. Don't tell my folks. There's all those playing cards pinned to the spokes, laid out like skeletons out on the lawn. The wheels won't turn when the other half's gone. The seasons can turn on a dime. Somehow I forget every time all the things that you've given me will always stay. They're broken, but I'll never throw them away.
What a great combination. Christine Callister's voice and a Tom Waits song. Marvellous. Next, here's a track by the Urban Folk Quartet from their album The Escape, which was released in 2015. It's got Dan Walsh on vocals and banjo, and Dan is coming, as I keep telling you, to the Institute in Laxey on the 24th of June. That's a week on Saturday. Tickets are only £15 and it's going to be a fantastic night. Just go to www.etickets.im/et to get yours.
Boats up the river and I walk on down. I believe in my soul. I'm a waterbound. I'm a waterbound. Waterbound. I believe in my soul. I'm a waterbound. If the river was whiskey and I was a duck, I would dive down to the bottom. I would never come up. I would never come up. I'd never come up. I would dive down to the bottom. I would never come up. I will down to the river, take my rocking chair. If those blues overtake me, rock away from there. Rock away from there. Away from there. If those blues overtake me, rock away from there. I'll go down to the river and sit right down. If those blues overtake me, jump the river and drown. Jump the river and drown. The river and drown. If those blues overtake me, jump the river and drown. Down to the river, I'm ready to die. And this land is so small, and the river is wide, and the river is wide. The river is wide, and this land is so small, and the river is wide. Boats up the river and I walk on down. I believe in my soul. I'm a waterbound. I'm a waterbound. Waterbound. I believe in my soul. I'm a waterbound. Well, the boats up the river walk on down. I believe in my soul. I'm a waterbound. I'm a waterbound. I'm waterbound. I believe in my soul. I'm a waterbound.
The Urban Folk Quartet there. All four of them are amazing musicians, as well as Dan Walsh on banjo, guitar and vocals. You've got Joe Broughton on fiddle, guitar, mandolin and bass, Paloma Trigas on fiddle and vocals, and Tom Chapman. He's an amazing percussionist, the only man I think really makes the cajon sound good. Next, Rufus Wainwright, the son, of course, of Loudon Wainwright III and Kate McGarrigle. He's well into his career now, having released many albums across many genres as well, really. But his latest one is called Folkocracy, reflecting his family's talent and history. I've already played you a track from this, but the whole album has now been released. And this is Arthur McBride, one of my favourite folk songs. And this is amazing. Rufus's flamboyance comes to light in his piano playing, and it's a wonderful and very different version of a well-known song.
Oh, me and me cousin one Arthur McBride, as we went a-walking down by the seaside. Now mark what followed and what did betide, for it being on Christmas morning. Now for recreation we went on a tramp, and we met Sergeant Napper and Corporal Vamp, and a little wee drummer intending to camp, for the day being pleasant and charming. Good morning, the sergeant he cried, and the same two gentlemen we did reply, intending no harm, but meant to pass by, for it being on Christmas morning. But says he, my fine fellows, if you will enlist 10 guineas in gold, I'll stick to your fist, and a crown in the bargain for to kick up the dust and drink the king's health in the morning. For a soldier he leads a very fine life, and he always is blessed with a charming young wife, and he pays all his debts without sorrow or strife, and he always lives pleasant and charming. And a soldier he always is decent and clean, in the finest of clothing he's constantly seen, while other poor fellows go dirty and mean and sup on thin gruel in the morning. But says Arthur, I wouldn't be proud of your clothes, for you've only the lend of them, as I suppose. But you dare not change them one night, for you know, if you do, you'll be flogged in the morning. And although that we were single and free, we take great delight in our own company. We have no desire, strange places to see, although that your offers are charming. And we have no desire to take your advance. All hazards and dangers we barter on chance, for you to have no scruples for to send us to France, where we would get shot without warning. Oh no, says the sergeant, I'll have no such chat, and neither will I take it from snappy young brats. For if you insult me with one other word, I'll cut off your heads in the morning. And Arthur and I, we soon drew our hogs, and we scarce gave them time for to draw their own blades, when a trusty shillelagh came over their heads and bid them take that as fair warning. And their rusty old rapiers and hung by their sides we flung, the them as fast as we could in the tide. Now take them, their devils, cried Arthur McBride, and temper their edge in the morning. And the little wee drummer, we flattened his bow, and we made a football of his rowdy dow-dow. Threw it into the tide for to rock and to roll, and bid it a tedious returning. And we, having no money, paid them off in cracks. We paid no respect to their 2 bloody backs, and we lathered them there like a pair of wet sacks, and left them for dead in the morning. And so, to conclude and to finish disputes, we obligingly asked if they wanted recruits, for we were the lads who would give them hard clouts and bid them look sharp in the Oh, me and me cousin, one Arthur McBride, as we went walking down by the seaside. Mark now what followed and what to betide, for it being on Christmas
John Henry, when he was a baby, sitting on his mammy's knee, picked up a hammer in the little right hand, said, "Hammer'll be the death of me, me, me. Hammer'll be the death of me. Hammer'll be the death of me, me, me. Hammer'll be the death of me." Well, some said he's born down in Texas, some said he's born up in Maine. I just said he was a Louisiana man, leader of a steel driving chain gang, leader of a steel driving gang, leader of a steel driving chain gang, leader of a steel driving gang. Now the captain said to John Henry, what did he say? "I'm gonna bring my steam drill round, gonna bring my steam drill out on this job, and I'm gonna walk that steel on down, 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 walk that steel on down. I'm gonna walk that steel on down, 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 I'm gonna walk that steel on down." John Henry said to the captain, what did he say? "Bring your steam drill around. You can bring your steam drill out on the job, and I'm gonna beat your steam drill down, down, down. Beat your steam drill down. Gonna beat your steam drill down, yes I am. Gonna beat your steam drill down." John Henry said to his shaker, "Shaker, you had better pray. If If you miss your 6 foot of steel, tomorrow'll be your burying day, Mr. Shaker. Tomorrow'll be your burying day. Now the Shaker said to John Henry, well, a man ain't nothing but a man. I'm throwing 100 pounds from my hips on down, doing all that any man can. Doing all that any man can. Doing all that any man can. I'm doing all that any man can.
So first there we had that wonderful version of Altham McBride by Rufus Wainwright, and then we had Woody Guthrie with John Henry. Well, actually it was Woody Guthrie and Cisco Houston, who was another American singer-songwriter, guitarist of similar time who recorded a lot with Woody. Now last week I played you a track called One in a Million by Chris Wood, which is one of those lost and found token songs. And that reminded me about this song by Edgelarks. It's called Growing, and it's a true story from Sweden of a lost and found wedding ring. Apparently it happened again in Canada. These small miracles are more common than we think, says Hannah. That's Hannah Martin on vocals and banjo, and of course we've got Philip Henry on dobro and vocals.
Growing, growing. All these years my love has been growing, growing. All these years my love has been. I drew my love a wedding band. I wore it on my left hand. Diamonds settle in white gold to have and forever hold. This ring from my finger slipped, and round my heart you feel grieved. And though I searched the house around, nowhere could my ring be found. Growing, growing. All these years my love has been growing, growing. All these years my love has been. Now 16 years have passed away. The house I tend day on day. My garden trees do grow high. I'll reap my harvest by and by. Growing, growing. All these years my love has been growing, growing. All these years my love has been. Time has come to pull the crop, and from the earth I draw it up. A carrot strangely ringed around, for what is lost may still be found. For what is lost may still be found. Growing, growing. All these years my love has been growing, growing. All these years my love has been growing, growing. All these years my love has been growing, growing. All these years my love has been.
So we've just had amazing weather over this TT fortnight, haven't we? For several TT weeks in a row, I headed up to the Isle of Skye to do some climbing on the Black Coolin, which takes me now, of course, to Duncan Chisholm's album that was released last year called The Black Coolin. This is the Razor's Edge, and it really is like that on the Black Coolin. At the time, we did lots of adventurous things. I led the easy side of the inaccessible pinnacle, and we abseiled down the other side. All wonderful stuff in wonderful weather at that time too. I don't think I've got that same head for heights anymore, though. That was Duncan Chisholm from his album The Black Coolin, and at the moment Duncan Chisholm is undertaking his Highland Halls tour with Hamish Napier. There's only a couple of gigs left now, the Rose Hall Village on the 15th of June and the Gairloch Community Hall on the 16th, but he's played all sorts of wonderful places like Knoydart, Applecross, and the first gig of the tour was in the Coigach Hall in Kiltibui in that wonderful Inverpolly area right up in the far northwest. Speaking of which, here's something that's very cool.
When the springtime comes, I get hungry for the north. Like the geese I want to fly, make an arrow in the sky. I want to travel like a salt sea clinker round the Hebridean Isles, 'cause I've fallen hook, line, sinker for a Bonnie Mackenzie child, and I'll be waiting for you in a Achelty Boo, waiting for you in a Achelty Boo, waiting for you in a Achelty Boo. Where the primroses grow by the road to the mountains of Skye, I'll be shedding my clothes 'cause it feels like the 4th of July. I want to truck along 100 beat roads, see the Hebrides in achtelty boo, waiting for you in a achtelty boo. Travel like a salt sea clinker round the Hebridean eyes, 'cause I've fallen hook, line, sinker for old Bonnie Mackenzie child, and I'll be waiting for you in a achtelty boo, waiting for you in a achtelty boo, waiting for you in a achtelty boo.
Isn't that great? I don't just throw these shows together, you know. That's A Kilty Buoy by Beth Malcolm from her new album Kissed and Cried. I'll play something else from that in the next few weeks. Let's have a bit of a classic from the Unthanks. This is Here's the Tender Coming from the album of the same name in 2009.
Here's the tender coming, pressing all the men. Oh dear hinny, what'll we do then? Here's the tender coming off a Shields bar. Here's the tender coming, full of men of war. Hide thee canny hinny, hide thee sail away, hide thee till the frigate makes for Druid's Bay. If they take thee, Geordie, who's to win our bread? Me and little Jackie, better off be dead. Here's the tender coming, pressing all the men. Oh dear hinny, what'll we do then? Here's the tender coming off at Shields bar. Here's the tender coming, full of men of war. Here's the tender coming, steal it off me, dear. Oh dear hinny, they'll ship you out of here. They will ship you far, and that is what it means. Here's the tender coming, full of red marine. Here's the tender coming, pressing all the men. Oh dear hinny, what'll we do then? Here's the tender coming off at Shields bar. Here's the tender coming, full of men of war. Let's go take the law to see the tender lying off at Shields bar, with the colours flying, anchor at her bow. They took me, Bonnie laddie, best of all the crew. Here's the tender coming, pressing all the men. Oh dear hinny, what a waiting then. Here's the tender coming of a shield's ball. Here's the tender coming, full of man and war. Here's the tender coming, pressing over man. Oh dear Hinny, what a waiting then. Here's the tender coming of a shield's bar. Here's the tender coming, full of man and war. Here's the tender coming, pressing all the man. Oh dear Hinny, what a waiting then. Here's the tender coming of its shield's bar. Here's the tender coming, full of man and war. Here's the tender coming, pressing all the men. Oh dear Hinny, what a waiting then.
Trad sessions happening here on the Isle of Man this week will be the O'Donnell session tomorrow night, that's Wednesday night in Douglas, the Mitre session on Friday night in Ramsey, and on Sunday afternoon, Black Dog Pizza in Peel. That'll be fantastic in this lovely weather. Don't forget you can listen to this show again on the Listen Again button on the Max Radio website, and you can download it as a podcast either from the website or from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those other things. As I said, I'll leave you with one more track from the Deadly Diddley Band, who were Mary Malloy on accordion, John Ryan on percussion, Andy Borders on bass, Peter Lewis on guitar, Liam Nugent on vocals, and Tony Hewson on whistles, baran and vocals, and I think this is Tony singing here. This is McAlpine's Fusiliers. See you next week.
Well, down the glen came McAlpine's men with their shovels slung behind them. It was in the pub that they drank their sub, and out in the spike that you will find them. Well, they sweated blood and they washed down mud with pints and quarts of beer. And now we're on the road again with McAlpine's Fusiliers. Well, I stripped to the skin with a darky fin way down upon the Isle of Grain. With us face or tool, well, you knew the rule, no money if you stop for rain. McAlpine's God was a well-filled heart, your shoulders cut to bits and seared. And woe to he who looked for tea with McAlpine's Fusiliers. I remember the day that the Bear O'Shea fell into a concrete stairs. What Horseface said when he saw him dead, it wasn't what the rich call prayers. Hamanavi short was his one retort that reached unto my ears. When the going gets rough, when you must be tough with McAlpine's Fusiliers. I worked till the sweat nearly had me fed with Russian, Czech and Pole. On shuddering jams up in the hydro dams, or underneath the Thames in a hole. I grabbed it hard and I got me
many a gang has fist across me ears. If you value your life, then don't join by Christ with McAlpine's Fusiliers. As down the glen came McAlpine's men with their shovels slung behind them. It was in the pub that they drank their sub, and down in the spike you will find them. They sweated blood and they washed down mud with pints and quarts of beer. And now we're on the road again with McAlpine's Fusiliers.